I believe live streaming has started.
Yes,
I welcome
yes.
all this morning on this online lecture. Keeping up with the traditions, we are hosting this lecture on Nobel Prize in Literature, again by Pushpinder Syal. So thank you, Pushpinder ji, for being with us again, for bearing with us again. So welcome to Pushpinder Syal and Professor Rajivlochan for the first time on our forum, I believe. Thanks to both of you. And thanks to the academies who have coordinated with us. Also this time, Panjab State Council and Indian Association for Physics Teacher. So thank you, everybody. And now I welcome Professor Grover to give a brief on these lectures. Professor Grover.
So good morning on behalf of SPSTI, Chandigarh chapters of NASI, INSA and INYAS, Punjab State Council for Science and Technology, Indian Association of Physics Teachers, and Department of History and Department of English and Cultural Studies of Punjab University. 2022 is the third year in a row that we are holding an expository lecture on Nobel Prize in Literature, and we are indeed grateful to Professor Pushpinder Syal, who had superannuated from Department of English and Cultural Studies, for consenting to deliver the lecture on this year's Nobel Prize in Literature as well. She was our speaker on Literature Prize in the years 2021 as well. The Literature Prize has been given 115 times in the 122 years history. Literature Prize is typically given to one individual. There are only 4 occasions in 115 years when this was awarded jointly. So during 2020, our guest of honor during Professor Pushpinder's lecture was Professor M.L. Chakku, who unfortunately passed away during the COVID-19 pandemic period. Last year in 2021, our guest of honor was a colleague of Professor Syal from PU, namely Professor Barar from Department of Political Science. Our guest of honor today is Professor Rajivlochan from Department of History of Punjab University. Like Professor Barar, Professor Rajivlochan is also an eminent writer who contributes profusely in the public domain. We have invited a younger colleague of Professor Rajivlochan, Dr. Jasbir Singh, the officiating chairperson of Department of History, to formally introduce Professor Rajivlochan to all of us. Our main speaker would be formally introduced by Dr. Sugandha Maheshwari, who is an INYAS member. Dr. Sugandha was an inspired faculty at IISERMohali till very recently. She moved to accept a regular faculty position at IIT Roorkee some months ago. Today's talk is the second talk in the series for the year 2022. 4 more talks will follow on Nobel Prizes on Peace, Medicine, Chemistry and Economics on November 5, November 26, December 3 and December 10. All these are Saturdays. The SPSTI office will display these talks along with the names of the speakers in a tabulated form at the end of today's presentation. The SPSTI series on Visions of Institution is being run parallel to the Nobel Prize series talks. The next talk in the Vision series on IISERs shall be delivered by the director of IISER on November 12th, and this will be followed by talks on PEC and Plaksha University on November 25 and December 22 respectively. So in summary, at least 7 more expository talks are to follow before the end of 2023. So during the last talk, our first talk in the year 2022, Professor Arvind had addressed the audience in vernacular, and Pushpinder Syal shall also address our audience in vernacular at the end of our PowerPoint presentation in English today. So with this, I conclude my brief address and back to you, Kya.
Thank you, Professor Grover. for giving an introduction to our lecture series. I now request Dr. Jasbir Singh, Acting Chairman of the Department of History, Panjab University, Chandigarh, to introduce our guest of honor today, Dr. Rajivlochan. Dr. Jasbir Singh.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you, SPSTI, and especially Professor ArunK.Grover, former Vice Chancellor, Panjab University, Chandigarh, for giving me this opportunity to introduce my worthy colleague, Professor M. Rajivlochan, at this forum. So thank you so much. It's my proud privilege to introduce my colleague, Professor M. Rajivlochan, to the audience of this lecture and lecture series. Professor Lochan has almost 35 years of teaching experience, a brilliant career, and his area of interest primarily include contemporary India. And he has written extensively. The major works which he has contributed, those include Making India Great Again, that is learning from our history, Sardar Pratap Singh Kairo, a visionary, one volume on history perspectives, then Jal Savraj, Farmer Suicides, Chandigarh Landscape. And if we look at the academic profile of Professor Lochan, he has a varied and variegated kind of interest. So he has not just, you can say, bound himself to a very brief micro area of the learning. Rather, he has almost covered every issue of the contemporary relevance. And apart from these major books, he has written more than 45 research papers. And apart from that, he is a regular contributor in the Tribune, Chandigarh, Indian Express, Hindustan Times, Outlook, India Today magazine, and so many other forums. So if I think it's a 40 pages long biodata, if we just go through his contributions, particularly in the public domain. And the very interesting thing about Professor Lochan is, which he has not just declared in his profile or biodata, rather through his contribution in various forms of writing at the public level, which he has manifested, that is that his aim is to reaching out to the non-academic, non-intellectual public on matters of scientific understanding of the society. So in a way, we can say that he primarily aims and attempts to push the knowledge frontiers and to carry those frontiers to the level of the common people. Apart from that, he is very active citizen of Chandigarh. So he reflects on various issues of the city, beautiful, and even at times he has contributed in so many endeavors of the Chandigarh administration. Then if we just look at the profile, the kind of the work he has contributed and the kind of the funding which he has been able to generate and manage from the various organizations, both at the level, national and international level, that again, we come across a wide spectrum of the these bodies from where he has got the various kind of the funding. And most importantly, he has been on the board of various government bodies, committees, commissions, etc. For example, the most important being, he has been on the various committees of UGC, presently ICHR, Indian Council of Historical Research, then Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy at Mussoorie. He has been one of the prominent resource person over there since a long time. And at Panjab University, he is known for making various innovations. And if I say that putting a new life into the cell, which he headed for quite a good period, I think during the tenure of Professor Grover as Vice Chancellor, that was IQAC cell, that he streamlined the whole data collection at the level of the various departments pertaining to the faculty and the students. And most importantly, last but not least, he is a wonderful human being, a senior colleague who is always ready to guide and help the junior teachers like us in the department. So with these words, I think this is very just brief introduction of Professor Lochan. I welcome Professor Lochan on board and convey my thanks to the organizers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jasbir, for that very comprehensive introduction. And now I request Professor Rajivlochan to say a few words on today's lecture.
Namaskar. Thank you, everyone. Special thanks to Professor Arun Grover. Professor Arun Grover, I notice, keeps on pushing me into various tasks and says ki kare ho, achhe se karo aur ban laga ke karo. I'm doubly grateful to him. Thank you, sir. When I first got this invitation about SPSTI, I was very thrilled because I have attended some of your lectures in the university when they were being held offline. And my total understanding is that that is the only way we can help knowledge grow. This is the only way in which we can move forward. While we were researching our bits on history, this question of why India, which everyone imagines to be a very great country somewhere in the past, ceased to be so great in contemporary times. One of the things that I noticed was that the countries which grew were always countries which allowed knowledge to be very open and enabled people to share ideas, share information, share details, while some countries, especially the United Kingdom, some countries started also forcing something called science and the method of science on whatever thoughts people might have had, whatever their experiences might have been. And that simple device, it's a very ambiguous kind of a thing called science, but that simple thing about reality testing, whatever ideas one has, that enabled those countries to move forward very fast. But the unique thing about the United Kingdom was that it also enabled the common people to participate. It created institutional structures, much like SPSTI is doing the task today, to reach out to the people, to reach out to everyone, and to share information in a systematic, reliable, scientific manner. Part of this endeavor is also that small effort that I make for writing for the newspapers, where I don't bother about politics. I don't bother about who will feel good, who will feel bad, and I simply write what I think is scientifically the most appropriate thing. And a large amount of information we share in history, at least, we share on a page called India History on Facebook. There's a small team that I have, and we have all sorts of questions coming from the public. Those questions we investigate, and we provide very reliable information, as reliable as is possible in history, on that particular page. When I was asked to talk about this theme today, I was given a total of 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, the one thing that occurs to me is that the Nobel Prize this time is a Nobel Prize which was given to someone who's actually a sociologist. I don't know how the literature people take her and have like absorbed this lady as a literature person, but essentially she's a sociologist. She's someone who shares a very scientific, personal, ethnographic information for everyone in an extremely readable form. Perhaps that becomes the definition of good literature. That becomes the definition of literature which helps us understand the human condition better. In India, at least, I could only remember Shashti Brata writing in 1967-68. His My God Died Young, where he is just 27 years old, and he basically pokes fun at India, pokes fun at everyone that he comes across. But at least he does something which is called self-reflection. In my experience as a historian, we use a lot of autobiographical information for history writing. In my experience of reading that autobiographical literature, Indians are extraordinarily full of themselves, extraordinarily full of what their achievements are, and all achievements are defined in terms of उसने मेरे साथ क्या दुष्टता की और मैं उसके साथ उसकी दुष्टता से कैसे बच के मैं आगे निकल आया. There is very little reflection on anything. So the discussion theme today, any Erno's writings, I absolutely look forward to what my senior colleague Pushpinder Syal has to say on it, because I have not read much of this kind of French literature from the literary readings point of view, and I would be looking forward to it. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Professor Rajivlochan. Thank you, Professor Syal. Thank you, Professor Syal. Now,
Thank you, Professor Rajivlochan, for throwing light on matters sociological. Thank you. And now I request Dr. Sugandha Maheshwari, an upcoming mathematician from IIT Roorkee now. She's a fellow of Indian National Young Academy of Sciences. She will introduce Professor Pushpinder. Dr. Sugandha. सुगंधा महिपाल जी देखिए वो ज्वाइन कर पा रही हैं क्या?
Yeah, I'm able to unmute now.
Okay, Sugandha.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Sugandha Maheshwari from IIT Roorkee, and I'm representing Indian National Young Academy of Sciences, NYAS. I'm glad and humbly honored for being directed to introduce the speaker of today's event, Professor Pushpinder Syal. Welcome, ma'am. She has served Department of English and Cultural Studies since 1978 at Panjab University in various capacities. Her inputs to the department include serving as a chair during 1997 to 2000 and various initiatives that include commencing of courses on language teaching, linguistics, English proficiency, and she also created language laboratory in the department. At the Lucknow campus of English and Foreign Languages University, she served as director for a year and initiated programs and workshops in collaboration with the British Council. She has been conducting academic activities such as weekly seminars. Panjab University, an institution which is common link for almost all present here, is where she retired as a full professor and has been an advisor and secretary to the Vice Chancellor for a year. And she has had a wonderful academic career, been a medalist during graduation in GNDU Amritsar, post-graduation Panjab University, from where she headed to University of Lancaster, where she pursued her MA and PhD in linguistics. She also has to her credit Commonwealth Academic Staff Scholarship and Charles Willis Trust Fellowship, Australia-India Council Fellowship. She has over 50 research publications and 2 books in prestigious publishing houses to her credit. She has also guided over around 30 MPhil and PhD theses and has presented papers at many international and national conferences. So we are all well aware of the struggle in communication via language and the use of apt language for suitable expression. But her writings are very lucid and spanned with variation. She has been involved in translation also for various pieces of art, especially Punjabi to English. And with her intellect, she not only contributed to home institution, but also has connection with various other institutions, and her activities include teaching and organizing many academic staff college refresher courses at Punjab University and other universities, including GNDU Amritsar, Kurukshetra University, HP University in Shimla, Delhi University, Rajasthan University, and so on. And she has her association with the institutes like APJ Institute of Management, Chitkara College of Engineering, Bhakra Byas Management Board, Hindustan Lever, DV School Master Trainer Programs, etc. And not only that, she has been a special faculty for teaching communication at IISERMohali also. And she has lectured at IIT Ropar, IIT Mumbai at times. We are very grateful to you, ma'am, for being part of the series once again. Let me point out that her lecture on Nobel Prize in Literature for 2020 on the same platform, which was for laureate Louis Gluck, which was conducted about a couple of years ago, was very well received and reached out to almost 2,000 people. So we are eager to hear from you, ma'am, for the Nobel laureate of 2022 in literature. Over to you.
Thank you, Sugandha. Thank you very much. And now I request Professor Pushpinder Syal to proceed with her address. Pushpinder ji.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kea. Thank you, Professor Grover, for asking me again. Although you know very well I am not an expert on every writer, and I cannot kind of, really claim to be. But thank you so much for thinking of me and asking me to give this talk. I'll try to do the best I can. Also, to speak in Punjabi as far as possible. I did see that Professor Arvind, for whom it is a kind of a mission to teach science, to speak about science in Punjabi. So I will try to follow his footsteps, though I must say that it will be a mixed kind of discourse of both Punjabi and English, and I'll give it a go. Let's see. So I'll start straight away. Anuj, I would like to have your help with the
Sure, ma'am.
PPT, because if I do it, then it'll distract me from my thought. So if we can have the first slide, and we'll start.
Ma'am, you have not sent me the slides.
Oh, I did on the email, didn't I? In fact, I didn't receive an acknowledgement from you, but I assume that you have it. Shall I send it again?
And that was your brief biodata.
Yeah, but before that.
Let me check, ma'am, please.
Yes, okay. So just see if it's there. Is it there?
I have got, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Sharing, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, fine, great. So ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਚੋਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਮਿਲੇ, ਤੇ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਨਿਰਾਸ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਐਸੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਰਹੇ ਵੀ ਨੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪੁਰਸਕਾਰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਅਮਿਤਾਭ ਘੋਸ਼ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਮੀਨੈਂਟ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਛਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਮਿਲਣ ਦੇ ਚਾਂਸਸ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਲਮਾਨ ਰਸ਼ਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਐਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਮੀਦ ਇੰਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੋਈ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਗੈਪ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪੁਰਸਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। attention to Indian literature has not been there. ਜੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਤਾਂ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਨੇਡਾ, ਤਾਮਿਲ, ਬੰਗਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਕਈ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਦਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਸੀ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿਜੇ ਤੇਂਦੁਲਕਰ ਹੋਏ, ਮਰਾਠੀ, ਫਿਰ ਗਿਰੀਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾਡ, Kannada, U.R. Ananthamurthy, and many others. So ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਜੇ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪੁਰਸਕਾਰ ਗ੍ਰੀਕ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਰਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਯੂਰੋਪੀਅਨ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਟੀਜ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁਰਸਕਾਰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਵੀਡਿਸ਼ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹ ਤਾਮਿਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਨੇਡਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਬੰਗਾਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੇ ਖੈਰ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਵੀ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ, ਬਟ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਲਿਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲ ਵੀ ਧਿਆਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ। ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਹੈ ਆਪਣਾ ਰਾਜਾ ਰਾਓ, ਆਰ.ਕੇ. ਨਾਰਾਇਣ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਬਾਹਰ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਪੋਪੂਲਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਆਰ.ਕੇ. ਨਾਰਾਇਣ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ। ਅਨੀਤਾ ਦੇਸਾਈ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੁਣ ਕੰਟੈਂਪਰਰੀ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ English writers in English ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨੇ, ਜੇ suppose if translation is a problem, ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਲੈਪਸ ਹੈ, ਕਸੂਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਿਟਰੇਚਰ ਤੇ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਕਰੇਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਵੱਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ 올림픽ਸ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਮੈਡਲ ਆਉਣ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਐਕਸੈਲ ਕਰੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਔਰ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਹਿਤਿਆ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਵੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਵਾਰਡਸ ਵੀ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਵਰਲਡ ਵਾਈਡ ਉਹਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਅਕੈਡਮੀਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨੇ ਮੈਕਸ ਮਿਲਰ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਜਾਂ ਅਲਾਇੰਸ ਫਰਾਂਸੇ ਜਾਂ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕਾਉਂਸਿਲ, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾਵਾ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੋਲੇ ਨੇ, ਉੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤਾਮਿਲ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਜਾਂ ਕਨੜਾ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟਸ ਜੇ ਹੋਣ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਦਿਆਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲੇ। ਤੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਫੋਰਨ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ, ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਸਾਂ। ਹਾਊਐਵਰ ਜਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਵਿਨਰ ਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫਰਾਂਸ ਦੀ ਰੈਕਗਨੀਸ਼ਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਫਰਾਂਸ ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਵਰਲਡ ਲੀਡਰ, ਇੰਟੈਲੈਕਚੁਅਲ ਲੀਡਰ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਖਾਸ ਕਰ 20th ਸੈਂਚੁਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਰਾਂਸ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਇਨ ਟਰਮਸ ਆਫ intellectual leadership in ideas ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਸੋਸ਼ੀਓਲੋਜੀ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕਸ, ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਐਂਡ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਫਿਲੋਸੋਫਰਸ ਤੇ ਥਿੰਕਰਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਮਤਲਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਹਾਊ ਮੈਨੀ ਟੂ ਕਾਊਂਟ, but because everyone worth their salt talks about Foucault, Derrida, talks about all these thinkers, and ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੀ ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਥਿੰਕਰਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਸੋਸ਼ੀਓਲੋਜਿਸਟ ਪੀਅਰ ਬੋਰਡਿਊ ਦੀ ਸੋਸ਼ੀਓਲੋਜੀ ਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਆਈਡੀਆਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ। ਔਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਿਸਟੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲਿਸਟ ਫਿਲੋਸਫੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਰਾਂਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਨਿਕਲੀ, ਕਾਮੂ, ਐਲਬਰਟ ਕਾਮੂ ਔਰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਜੌਨ ਪੌਲ ਸਾਰਤਰ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ। ਸੋ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ ਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈ। ਦੂਸਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਥਾਟ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੇਸ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਰਾਹਨੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਆਈਡੀਓਲੋਜੀ ਜਾਂ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਥਿੰਕਿੰਗ ਵਾਲੀ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਨੋਬੈਲ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਥਾਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੈਚੁਰਲੀ ਸਿਮੋਨ ਡੀ ਬਿਵੁਆਰ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਿਮੋਨ ਡੀ ਬਿਵੁਆਰ ਲੀਡਰ ਸੀ ਅਰਲੀਅਰ ਔਨ, ਜੌਨ ਪੌਲ ਸਾਰਤਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਸੈਕਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੁੱਕ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਹੋਈ। ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਐਂਗਲੋ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਰਾਈਟਰਸ ਨੇ, ਕਈ ਐਂਗਲੋ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਨੇ, ਜਰਮਨ ਗ੍ਰੀਅਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਕੇਟ ਮਿਲਟ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਸਟ ਥਿੰਕਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਹਿਰ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੀ ਮੁੱਢ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਿਮੋਨ ਡੀ ਬਿਵੁਆਰ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਭ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 1940 ਦੀ ਬੋਰਨ ਹੈ, right in the beginning of Second World War, ਔਰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ 82 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਪੈਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਦਾ, ਇਹ ਸਪੈਨ ਵੀ ਬੜਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਜ਼ਮ ਦਾ ਸਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਕੰਬਾਈਨਡ ਵਿਦ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ, ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਟਾਕ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਹੈ, ਸਬ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਹੈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਮਾਰਸਲ ਪ੍ਰੂਸਟ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਕਲਾਸਿਕ ਬੁੱਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਪਾਸਟ, ਇਨ ਸਰਚ ਆਫ ਲੋਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ। ਸੋ ਇਨ ਸਰਚ ਆਫ ਲੋਸਟ ਟਾਈਮ it's memory, it's based on memory. So Annie Ernaux ਵੀ ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫੀਲਡ ਹੈ, ਮੈਮਰੀ ਦਾ ਫੀਲਡ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਮਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੂਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸਡ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਮਰੀ ਵਰਕ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਮੈਮਰੀ ਇਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਓਨਲੀ ਆਫ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਪਾਸਟ but even reconstructed in the present itself, constructed in the present itself. ਇਸ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਥੋੜਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਮਰੀ ਆਰ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਥਿੰਗ, that ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਨੈਸ ਹੈ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅ ਮੈਮਰੀ, ਔਰ ਜੋ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜੋ ਪਰਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਡੇ ਅਨਕੌਂਸ਼ੀਅਸ ਚ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, we only see them when we remember something that came up in the unconscious. In our consciousness it appears as a remembrance. Now that is just a theory, so ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਿਊਰੋ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਦੀ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਏਰੀਆ ਹੈ ਸਾਇੰਸਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, that which parts of the brain are involved in memory and in our idea of time. So a certain thing I was reading in neuroscience, because I subscribe to some of these sites, कि ਜਿਹੜੀ memory the time ਹੈ ਜੋ, how do human beings construct time? ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਤੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਪੀਅਰੈਂਸ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਟਾਈਮ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਪਰੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਪੀਅਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਨਿਊਰੋ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਇਜ਼ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਦਿਸ, ਦੈਟ ਇਨ ਹਿਪੋਕੈਂਪਸ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ, ਹਿਪੋਕੈਂਪਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਾਈਮ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਹਾਊ ਵੀ ਪਰਸੀਵ ਟਾਈਮ ਐਜ਼ ਪਾਸਟ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਔਰ ਐਜ਼ ਫਿਊਚਰ। And we know ਕਿ language ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ time ਦੀ processing ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤੇ neurons ਦੇ through ਹੈ, hippocampus ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ neurons ਨੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੂਸਰੇ parts of the brain ਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ language processing parts ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦਾ time is thought about or spoken about differently. For example, we say in English there are only two tenses, past and present, because tense is a matter of grammar. Time is a concept, tense is a grammatical marker of time, you know. So a tense is not the same in every language, because different people think of time differently. Different languages separate the grammatical concepts in which they are going to talk about time. So ਸਮਝ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਫਿਲੋਸੋਫੀਕਲ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਫਿਲੋਸੋਫੀਕਲ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਇਸ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। she was from a working class family and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਲਾਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਜੈਂਡਰ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਰੇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਚ ਪਾਏ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। memoir is important genre. ਇਹ memoir ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖੇਤਰ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਯਾਦ ਪੱਤਰ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਸਮਰਨ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ memoir ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਰਾਜੀਵਲੋਚਨ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਪਪੂਲਰ genre ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਮੋਆਰ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਲਿਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਮੋਆਰ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਸਮਝ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੀ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਟੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟਨਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ, I'm sure this happened and this is what happened to me, this is what happened during my life. ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਾਫੀ ਇੱਕ ਦਾਅਵੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੈਮੋਆਰ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ somebody is writing their memoirs. However, ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਇਹ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈਂਦੇ। ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਅਪਰੋਚ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਚ ਸੈਲਫ ਤੇ ਆਈਡੈਂਟੀਟੀ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ। ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਮੋਆਰ ਕਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਲਿਖਣਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਸੈਲਫ ਹੈ, ਉਹੀ ਸੈਲਫ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਯਾਦ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਯਾਦ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਯਾਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੀਕਨਸਟਰਕਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਯਾਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ after the passage of time or during the time that it is happening। ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਸਮੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਕਹੀਏ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਹੀ ਮੈਨੇ ਚ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕੁਝ, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਖੋਜ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹੈ ਕੌਣ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਚ ਇੱਕ ਅਨਸਰਟਨ ਡਾਊਟਫੁਲ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ impersonal autobiography। impersonal autobiography means that ਉਹ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਹੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਬਜੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਫੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਸਬਜੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ with something else, doubt that is this what it is। so ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਬਜੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਜਦਕਿ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਇੱਕ ਟਰੂਥ ਆਪਣੀ, this is my truth, this is my life, ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। but she is always questioning। so ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਤਮ ਕਥਾ ਜਾਂ ਆਟੋਬਾਇਓਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਰੂਪ ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਆਤਮ ਬੋਧ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਰੂਪ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਫਿਲੋਸੋਫੀਕਲ ਇਨਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਹੈ। ਫਿਲੋਸੋਫੀਕਲ ਇਨਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਹੈ ਆਤਮ ਬੋਧ ਦਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਰੂਪ, ਜੋ ਸਿਰਫ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ। so it's not subjective ਹੈ ਨਾ only। so and in fact resist ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਸਬਜੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ, ਉਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟਨ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਕਸਡ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਸੈਲਫ ਨੂੰ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਪਰਸਨਲ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਐਨਾਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਦੂਸਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਬਟ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵ। ਇਹ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵ ਦਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ, ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵ ਦਾ ਵੈਸੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਮੈਮੋਇਰਸ ਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਮੋਇਰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦ ਲੋਕ ਮੈਮੋਇਰ ਲਿਖਦੇ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜੋੜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਔਰ ਕਲੈਕਟਿਵ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੇਖਨ ਚ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਐਸੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, there is nothing which is not both collective as well as personal, you know। so there is a switching between I and we, I, we, one। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗਸ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਟ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਚ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਟਰ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਰਸਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਨਾਊਨਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਨਵਰਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਣ। I, one, we, you, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਨਾਊਨਸ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਲੱਗ ਇੱਕ ਰੈਫਰੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ I ਤੇ we ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ in the case of women, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਫੈਮਿਨਿਜ਼ਮ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ in the case of women, the collective, women can't escape from the social in the collective, because women's choices and thoughts are molded by the economic and social conditions. Of course, men's are too, but women ਦੇ constraints ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ writing 'ਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ women ਦੇ constraints ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ ਨੇ traditional ਜਿਹੜੀ roles and expectations ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ particularly reproductive and sexual roles ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ social or economic conditions necessarily involved ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ so ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਧਿਆਨ 'ਚ ਰੱਖੀਏ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ ਜਦੋਂ when she was a young woman ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ women's liberation movement ਜ਼ੋਰ ਪਕੜ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਸਿਮੋਨ ਡੀ ਬਿਵੁਆਰ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਸੈਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ a woman is not born but made so that set the idea for the social roles of women the influence of society on the construction of women's identity and ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ 60s ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 70s ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ women's liberation ਦਾ movement ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ I'll talk about it further ਕਿ how much what were the movements of those times ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ writing ਨਾਲ ਖਾਸ ਤਲਕ ਹੈ what are the movements of the times if we go to the next slide I have outlined some of the main aspects that I've just mentioned. The importance of this speaking voice, जो memory को बता रहे हैं, that speaking voice is there, but the memory also has a life of its own. It's like your memories are running away with you, you know. That you can't really keep control of those. So New Yorker ने एक comment देता सी कि Annie Ernaux distrusts her memory. And to quote from what she said, quote, I am not trying to remember. I'm trying to be there at that very instant without spilling into the before and after. To be in the pure immanence of the moment, unquote. So this is what she herself says, that to be there in the very instant. So that's the remembrance of things present, that to be there in the very instant and the pure immanence of the moment, that every moment is always there at all times. So in a way, it's bringing time together, collapsing the past and the present into one. So this kind of attempt is going on. Time and space is being compressed. Inner time and inner space, outer time and outer space being brought together in this tremendous effort of trying to discover that the self and history also as to how it is always there in the present moment, even if it may have been perceived as gone or has been past. So present is distanced. So two things are happening. Present is being distanced as if it is being looked at from far away, and past is being brought closer as present, as immediate. So both the processes are happening, that the present is distanced and the past is made immediate and present. So this is the effort during her writings. And as much as we can approach through translation, we understand this kind of thing. And there's another very important sentence of hers, that is, writing is the beginning of a failure to forget. Writing is the beginning of a failure to forget. The question is, that is forgetting important or is remembering important? What is more important? If you fail to forget, that means you remember. And it is in remembrance that the writing begins. But there is a blur between forgetting and remembering. So we are not sure about what we are forgetting and what we are remembering. The attempt is towards what we call a personal epistemology. The personal epistemology is where it's not an epistemology of the world, where we seek to know. How do we get to know something? But it's a personal epistemology. How do we get to know ourselves? So that kind of attempt is there. And another word is used for a writing, which is excavation. Excavation. Now, excavation has a sort of a visceral meaning that, like just as you excavate the ruins of an old civilization, or you excavate even, when you kind of dig up a body, and you do an autopsy of a body. So this kind of a rather painful and difficult effort is the excavation of the self. How you can extract from your past, which is also present, how you can extract from that anything which you think or can be considered as permanent or meaningful, because it is so fragile. Time itself is constantly passing. The nature of the self is such that it's always changing. So how do you recover something or understand something which is so fragile? So this, you can see, it's a very kind of a serious philosophical inquiry. And this is what Annie Ernaux is engaged in. And then we can talk about some couple of her works, because next slide, please. I have not, I thought I wouldn't have time. Sari works de बारे गल करन दे. So there are दो ने novels तो नहीं है, autobiographies हैं. Self-writing, we call it, self-writing. Next slide, please. I have the titles of the books. So one very important book that I want to talk about today, जिसकी गल करनी ज़रूरी है, it is this book, small book, 2019 दी है, I Remain in Darkness. I Remain in Darkness, the front page ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹ quote ਹੈਗੀ है, all we have is our history and it doesn't belong to us. हमारी history भी हमारी अपनी नहीं है, और है हमारे पास वही, और कुछ है नहीं. So you can see the conundrum that we call it in philosophy. We call it conundrum. It's a kind of a paradox, that जो है वो है नहीं है. What we have is what we don't have, and it doesn't belong to us. It means it doesn't belong to us only, but it belongs to so many people that it's no longer my own. So so there's nothing that you can call as your own, or it doesn't belong to us. It means that it doesn't even belong to any one particular community, but it belongs to the whole world, and we don't even know where it begins and where it stops. So this is the sort of philosophical conundrum. So I Remain in Darkness, I'm mentioning it particularly because I think a lot of people would be interested in it. It is an account of her mother's slow decline through Alzheimer's disease, through the progress of Alzheimer's disease. And her mother has to be, first her mother is under her care, then she's taken to the care center, to the hospital or hospice, and there she remains for the rest of her life. And Annie writes about how she visits her mother every week, and the book traces the decline through the progress of the disease. Now, you see, many times there is one famous essay by Susan Sontag, old essay. It is called Illness as Metaphor. And when we look at how human beings deal with illness, how they deal with illness, which is a sign of our mortality, which is a sign of our bodies decaying and degenerating. Particularly today, the focus is so much on aging. That can be seen as a metaphor of disease for our entire world. It can be seen as a metaphor of how human beings deal with disease. Now we know that with Alzheimer's, there still isn't any cure. And Annie Ernaux says at one point, she says, one thing is there, the French are still, the French still have some kind of hawa, जिसे कहते हैं पंजाबी च hawa कहते हैं Germans दे बारे. Germans ਦਾ hawa हजे भी ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ है. So ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਲਿਖਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਨਵੀਂ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਨਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਜਰਮਨ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਣ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਨਵੇਂ ਨਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਨਵੇਂ ਨਾਂ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਨਵੀਂ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਆ ਗਈ ਹੈ. ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਬੇਸ ਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਰਮਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਐਲਜ਼ਾਈਮਰ, ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਐਲਜ਼ਾਈਮਰ, ਸੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਡਿਜ਼ੀਜ਼ ਵੀ ਜਰਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆ ਗਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. So now the thing is that medicine still doesn't have a cure for Alzheimer's. They are working on it day and night, of course, because dementia and Alzheimer's, these are areas of focus. And we know that amyloid proteins, the accumulation hai brain de vich te oh vaddi jandi hai te Alzheimer's progresses that way. But we don't know so much about how we can stop it from happening, from the proteins accumulating in this manner, why they accumulate and what happens. So medicine is engaged with these things. But at a human level, we are also engaged with making sense of this illness, of living through this illness. Medicine will only look for a cure. But as humans, as people who go through the experience, have to look for how to heal ourselves or how to make sense of such things in a different way in which medicine sanu help nahi kar sakti. Medicine sanu ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ help ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ bear ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲਿਟਰੇਚਰ ਹੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ spiritual kind of dimension. ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਵੀ ਐਨੀ ਐਰਨੋ ਦੀ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੈਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ somehow through language and philosophy we will reach the answer. So we have cut out, they have cut out the kind of qualities of that we get through certain sorts of wisdom that is available in the East. The wisdom that the East gives, whether it is Chinese, Japanese, or Indian philosophies, where I'm not saying religion in particular, but some understanding that comes through those sorts of means could help us. But for people who have neither answers from science, nor they have the availability of religion, nor they have community in the sense that the olden times people had. So how do people deal with a disease like Alzheimer's? So this question is not only a broader kind of a social question, but it's also a personal question for Annie Ernaux in the title, I Remain in Darkness. I Remain in Darkness are the words that her mother wrote when she was staying with Annie and her disease had been diagnosed, but the disease has not yet progressed. So she could still understand a little bit of what was going on. So she wrote down that still I remain in darkness. Of course, after the disease progressed, she was not able to even write or think or understand anything. So the title is taken from Annie's mother's writing, I Remain in Darkness. And for Annie, the problem which she brings forth here is how to experience and write the lives of your own parents. You know, we could write history of maybe we think we can write about ourselves, but when we begin to write about ourselves, our parents come in. You know, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਿਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ parents they are behind us. looking over our shoulder. Okay, let's see, what are you writing about us? Huh? And how to write about your parents without idealizing, without sentimentality, and without being heavily judgmental. Heavily judgmental. Because Jean-Paul Sartre wrote a book called autobiography called Words. And Words de vich ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ I loathe my childhood and all that remains of it. I loathe my childhood. Now, you see, the thing is that these are very, very mixed feelings. And either idealization or judgment, some kind of trauma that parental kind of life with parents is associated with, these become problems when a person actually confronts confronts this issue, because in a way Annie seems to realize that it's only by coming to understand the parent does one begin to understand the history, the larger history. Like the parents are a sort of a link to the larger history, so to the social history as well. So that is what we see that she's engaged in. And of course, with the parent dying, the death of the parent, however old one may be oneself, but the death of the parent is something that has to be also processed by the living child. And one of the biggest words that comes up in this book, I Remain in Darkness, is guilt. Again and again and again, there is the repetition of this word guilt. Now, why should she feel guilty? In fact, it is in many ways she remembers how her mother was unkind and cruel to her also. So then why should she feel guilty that her mother is dying? Why should she not be able to face the parent's death as if it was not a personal affront to herself, some kind of personal insult to herself, that guilt that my parent is dying? Now look at it, it's not a rational thing. इसनों इस तरह की नहीं समझ सकते कि भी हाँ child is responsible, लेकिन वो फिर भी guilt क्यों है? So ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਡਿਫਿਕਲਟ ਨੇ ਨੈਗੋਸ਼ੀਏਟ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ. I Remain in Darkness, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ it's like it's the project of a lifetime to deal with these things like dying itself, and seeing the reflection of dying in a parent. It means coming face to face with the death of everything, the death of the past, the death of who you are, the death of everything around you. So it can be terrifying. And now if agar main assess karan di koshish kara I Remain in Darkness is book de te mainu is cheez da sawal hai uthda hai ki bhi ek guilt di feeling kitthon aandi hai. ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਐਨੀ ਨੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਨੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਐਕਸਪਲੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ. ਗਿਲਟ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੈ? ਔਰ on one hand ਉਹ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ objectively ਦੇਖ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ process ਨੂੰ, progress ਹੈ, disease ਦੀ progress ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਉਹ mother ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀ lady ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ she's in a bad shape and her mother is not yet in a bad shape. Yet 1 year later, her mother is in the same position as that lady who was over there before her. So ek ke baad sare jehde eh hospital ch hai ne na, they are going through the different stages of the disease. So seeing her mother go through the stages of the disease also involves seeing other people go through the stages before her. Yani ki ek jaise jis tarah procession hunda hai, ke procession of seeing people, kyunki over a period of time हॉस्पिटल जाती है ते वो दूसरे पेशेंट्स को देखती है. एक बड़ा ही एक मार्मिक एक एपिसोड है जिस एक ओल्ड मैन हुंदा है ते वो ओल्ड मैन एक पेपर दे उत्ते एक एड्रेस एक टेलीफोन नंबर एक ओने पेपर दे उत्ते लिखिया हुंदा है ते वो बार-बार वो जेड़ा उन्हां दा कॉमन फोन है उथे ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਬੈਠਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ randomly phone numbers ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ call ਕਰਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ and nobody replies. He's trying to call his children, but you see he probably does not have the right phone number even, because ਜੋ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੇਪਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ phone number ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ, there's no way of knowing ਕਿ ਉਹ actually ਉਹ phone number ਉਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੇ ਮਨਕੜੰਤ phone number ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ. Does he remember the phone number that he's trying to call? So he keeps on varying the phone numbers and going on trying again and again to see if he can reach. So it's these sorts of observations about human life and about the process of deterioration and decay of memory of the human mind that she observes very clinically, as Nobel Prize citation de vich vi aayi hai ke clinical acuity. Yes, it is clinical, but at the end of it, do we reach anywhere? At the end of it, I remain in darkness. Of course, the mother dies. She gets a phone call that your mother died this morning after breakfast. Okay. So then she goes and she collects everything. And so this kind of thing is just, the end. And we don't come out of it with any kind of insight. And maybe it's right that most events in our lives, we don't really come out with any understanding of them. And we just, continue like that. And then the end comes. So maybe it's just, she's being just honest, brutally honest about this thing of life. So the second book briefly I'll talk about is The Years. The Years is actually 60 years of French history. From her birth in 1940 during the Second World War. And as she was a young girl, remembering how the people remembered the war, and how her family remembered the war, and the deprivations in the war, the kind of things that they saw towards the end of the Second World War. It is the collective memory which is in focus over there. So as I said earlier, the collective and the personal go side by side. In fact, they're intertwined. And as she writes about these memories, about the different times of, you see, it's a very interesting age that today at 82, at the age of 82, she has kind of lived through the major movements of the second part of the 20th century and towards the 21st. And, the millennium and 9/11 and all that. So in these years, there is, of course, the narration of all the things that happened and the changes that happened in society. But there's also the awareness, I'm just quoting from this quote, everything will be erased in a second. The dictionary of words amassed between cradle and deathbed will be eliminated. In conversation around a holiday table, we will be nothing but a first name, increasingly faceless, until we vanish into the vast anonymity of a distant generation. Unquote. So there's always this feeling that what is happening in the past is already gone. It can be recovered, but what is being recovered is also already past. So that it's being erased. And this kind of consciousness is in what informs this book, The Years, because in The Years, it's a breathless narrative. So many things have happened, told in the we pronoun, we use karke, we did this, and war memories. When you're saddled with other people's memories, when other people tell you, so you begin to carry those memories with you. You're saddled with them. Family narratives and social narratives are one and the same. Other people's memories give us a place in the world. Without other people's memories, even we don't have any place in the world. So memory was transmitted not only through the stories, but through the ways of walking, sitting, talking, laughing, eating, calling someone. It passed from body to body over the years, a heritage unseen in the photos lying beyond individual difference and gaps, between the goodness of some and the wickedness of others. Childhood preceded by other childhoods, all the way back to oblivion, unquote. So looking at her photos from the 50s, she tries to capture the reflection that, that collective history projects. This is an important thing. Collective history is projected upon the screen of individual memory. Collective history projects the reflections upon the screen of individual memory. So now what is this history? History consists of, the politics, the movements, so starting from France during the time of de Gaulle, the Second World War, as I said earlier, leaving its marks of sort of fear of Germany. And there's one French writer who said that I love Germany so much, I'm glad there are two of them, because Germany got divided into East and West. I love Germany so much, I'm glad that there are two of them. So that Annie makes this comment that those who wanted to make history admired nothing so much as its erasure. Just think about that those who want to make history, think about it in today's context, in contemporary context, those who want to make history admired nothing more than its erasure. Okay, so you want to make history, but they admire nothing more than the erasure of history, which people are trying to do. Okay, so this kind of history involves France's own uneasy relation with colonization, the whole trouble with Algiers, and the contradictions, Arabic France, Black France, White France, and so on. And the results of that colonization, that obviously then there will be immigration, but then immigration, the double attitudes towards immigration, some governments would come and say, stop immigrants, and the others would say, no, let them come, because they can do the work that the French no longer want to do. Because France was overrun by unions, and the unions wanted fewer working hours, as part of the deal that they wanted. They were free. They needed freedom for themselves, so they wanted less of the working hours per week. And so immigration is sometimes welcomed, and sometimes the immigrants, the government wins, or somebody from the government wins on a plank that immigration should be stopped. So the whole passage from de Gaulle to Jacques Chirac, Mitterrand, Jacques Chirac, right up to Sarkozy, and so on, and he traces all these political twists and turns. Then women's lib. Now, women's lib made a huge impact in France, and women's lib had brought something to the women of her time, which she recounts. And of these are things like legal abortion, which, has always been such, and is still today, such an issue, a contentious issue. So she traces the lives of young women who constantly lived in fear of pregnancy, and then, of course, resorted to all sorts of means, illegal means for abortion. And the fact that women needed to be free of this fear, this is what contraception brought in, which again had its problems of acceptance in the society and also by the Catholic religion and all that. And divorce. Women's lib brought in these sorts of freedoms of abortion, of divorce, of lovers becoming available, or women finally being free to find their lovers, etc., possible release from fear, and so on. But new dominations also come in. And the new dominations would be through the media, that is the advertisements and the women's magazines, who prescribe certain roles for women, juggling work and motherhood, and then consumerism, wanting to still remain feminine and stylish, and doing all kinds of things like laundry and shopping and classes, and one child's judo class and another child's poetry class and this and that. So women are still kind of within the social expectations. Then, you know, the whole kind of the hippie generation, and very important that she takes us through, is the student revolt of 1968, Paris student revolt of 1968. And she shows it how history is now being remembered through photographs, and how, you know, some photographs like that of that girl on fire in the napalm bomb in Vietnam, you know, kind of it became the most famous photograph, and photos from films like Marlon Brando in Last Tango in Paris, and history is now in photographs. And what is the limitation of photographs? That photographs are again piecemeal, they're chunks of memory, both personal photographs in the family album as well as photographs in Life magazine or something. And environmentalists, anti-nuclear activists, feminists, gays, all these causes were there. She says all the causes blazed but never came together. So she recounts the sense of superiority that people have in France towards people from the East European countries. And she talks about, she says, quote, "We had the impression that all the world's revolts and revolutions were our handiwork, from the eradication of slavery to the Tiananmen Square. France has led the world in revolution. There before us were all the people of the earth, every struggle of the past, present, and future, all progeny of the French Revolution." You know, this is, you know, she talks about how, with a lot of awareness about how, you know, every nation thinks that it is the best in the world, and that the rest of the world has followed its lead. So the French Revolution is the mother of all revolutions. That's what the French think. So she says that was how we saw our glory and our history. And we loved the deprivation of the communist countries. See, she's a very sharp critic of her own, not only of herself, but of her nation also, you know, because she says that we loved the deprivation of the communist countries. When the Berlin Wall fell, we saw that these people were not worthy of the pure and abstract freedom that we had. Now, those people don't deserve freedom. We disapproved of their thirst for consumer goods. They were lining up for sausages and books, deprived of everything. And we could taste the luck and superiority of belonging to the free world. And she writes very sharply that people who visited the East European countries came back happy to see the lack of living standards over there. They wanted the world to always have countries devoid of progress, to take them back in time this way. Acha, 50 years ago, ये deprivation हमारे पास भी थी, लेकिन ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਹਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ. So the ਜਿਹੜੇ countries ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ who say they have progressed, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣ ਦਿਓ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਦੀ ਉਸੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਤੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕੀਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੈ. So ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ critique present ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ. So ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ events ਨੇ, 60 years of all this history, European history, है तो Eurocentric ही सब कुछ. एक criticism है ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ एर्नो Eurocentric frame ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ frame ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ. ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੀ habitus ਤੋਂ, ਬੋਰਦਿਊ ਦਾ word ਹੈਗਾ, term ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਪੀਅਰ ਬੋਰਦਿਊ ਦੀ term ਹੈ habitus. ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਆਪਣੇ habitus ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਲਿਖਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਉਹ somehow ਦੂਸਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਾਠਕ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਉਸ habitus ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਚਾਨਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ connection ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ. So finally in the end, last slide ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਦਿਖਾ ਦਈਏ ਜੀ, last one. Yeah, So this is just a summary of what I've said earlier. और सिर्फ assessment एक जे करनी होए ते just brief discussion, it has been, and I don't say कि it's exhaustive, लेकिन एक intensive examination of self, critical examination, not only of herself but of the processes of the formation of self and decay of self, as seen in her mother's decay. And that is, written about with detachment, constantly working through the writing, because the writing is the way both to remember as well as to detach from the memory. दोनों चीज़ां हो रही ने, एक remembrance भी हो रही है, ते एक उस remembrance तो उस memory तो detachment भी चल रही है नाल. So detachment comes from a state of doubt, and it is her honesty to admit that there may not be any larger concern other than this. Let's not pretend that there should be any larger concern, क्योंकि a full range of identification with cultures and situations is not possible. जो evanescent being है, without this concern or this concentration, focus on it, this evanescent being dissolves into a state that is barely alive. So in a way, Annie Ernaux ਇੱਕ literature ਦੇ form ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, autobiography ਦੇ form ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਹ ਉਹੀ philosophical ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਠਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ Jean-Paul Sartre ਦੇ Being and Nothingness, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ book ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, Being and Nothingness, and continuing from the old tradition of Descartes, I think therefore I am. However, she puts in this thing that I think therefore I am, but I am conscious all the time that we are being told what to think. So ethics sociology aa gayi philosophy de vich. I think therefore I am, but I am being also told what I should think. So and we are also being told what to think, because if you look at all the French philosophers, Bourdieu, Foucault, Barthes, Lacan, Baudrillard, Ivan Illich, all these philosophers make up the tradition, make up the influence on our thinking. So they tell us how to think. They tell us how to think, which is an opposition of I think therefore I am, because that means that I am not anything unless I think what they are thinking. So I think I also think that, and she says that if nothing else, if you can do nothing else, then you can recreate yourself through psychoanalysis. You can recreate yourself again and again through psychoanalysis. And she's very sarcastic in saying that. So I think that the same questions remain in her writing. She doesn't answer all those questions, but she again reminds us, she actually helps us to remember that these questions are still important, that the questions of the exploration, how does time expand and collapse in our consciousness? How do we make sense of our present? What remains of anything, if anything remains? Can we ever know reality except through such tenuous means, such tentative ways? So for a writer to work with such a degree of, to live with such confusion, to live with that degree of uncertainty, that's why the Nobel Prize citation says that it is courage. So to this extent, we can value or evaluate her achievement. So thank you very much for listening so patiently, and any observations, etc., are welcome. And I hope I have been able to say something that interests you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Pushpinder Syal, for this extraordinary exposition of the Nobel laureate. Thank you. And now we would welcome comments and questions. So Dr. S.S. Chahal, can you please unmute yourself?
Well, thank you, Adam. It's a really wonderful lecture. Very thought-provoking, in fact, right from memory to Alzheimer to procession to see people, all things you have covered very well. When you were just talking about women liberation movement, it just came to mind I recall the work of Malala Yousafzai. In 2014, she is a Nobel Prize, a Peace Prize laureate at 17 only, probably the world's youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. She has, of course, all written about fight for girls' education. She has focused more about this. Of course, supposing Taliban's restriction on female education and all this. Her book, that I Am Malala, I was just recalling, it's a wonderful reading. Well, I just want to, of course, I want to learn it. How do you think about this in an Indian perspective? Now, see, the advanced countries, they are fighting for women liberation, right? That's all right. The movements are there. But we are still at a very different stage. And there are basic problems we are fighting for in India. Of course, ਇਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਅਫਗਾਨੀਆਂ ਵਾਂਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਉਹਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਜਾਂ ਰੂਡੀਮੈਂਟਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੂਮਨ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ. We still have to cover, in fact, sure, some extra miles with respect to girls' education. Because we have large tribal area in our country where even so many things have to be done. And in rural areas, apart from rural areas, rural areas are all right, but large tribal areas, they are covered there in India. ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਇਨ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੂਮਨ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਗਰਲ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ. For example, we are facing population explosion. Now, this is eating up all our food security efforts. There are a lot of we have done on food security and food production sort of front, but still we have to do a lot. Because population explosion ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ explosion ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ, and women education, girls education, ਔਰ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਐਸੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗਰਲਸ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ, ਵਿਮਨ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਮੋਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. ਸੋ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ, ਕੁਝ ਤੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਦੱਸ ਸਕੋ. ਦੈਟ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਅ ਗੁੱਡ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਫॉर ਅਸ. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ.
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜੀ. Thank you for the question. बिल्कुल ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ society ਦੇ in fact ਇਹ prove ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਐਨੀ ਨੋਜ਼ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ women's ਦੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਫ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ social ਤੇ economic situation ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ mold ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ. ਜੋ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਦੀ economics ਤੇ social situation ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਸ country ਦੀ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ past ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ. ਹੁਣ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਥਰੂ ਅ ਪੈਰੋਕਸਿਜ਼ਮ ਆਫ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਪਾਰਟਿਕੂਲਰਲੀ ਵਿਮਨ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਸਟ੍ਰੇਂਟਸ ਹੈ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਮਾਡਰਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਰੱਖੋ, ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਛੱਡੋ ਤੇ ਮਾਡਰਨਿਟੀ ਵੀ ਅਪਣਾਓ. ਤੇ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੈ ਕਰਨੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਇੰਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ. ਸੀ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਸਾ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਵਾਟ ਇਜ਼ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ, ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਵਿਮਨ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਵੀ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨ, ਲਾਈਕ being domestic in the home etc, looking after all these things, traditions ਵੀ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨ. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਰੈਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਬੜੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕੁਝ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਜੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, they bear the punishment for it, and the society says how dare you. Karwa Chauth also. So all these things, so these are constraints of tradition. Now tradition ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਮਝਨੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ tradition ਸਮਝ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ tradition ਹੋਏ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ misinterpretation ਹੈ of the tradition. ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਸ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਫਿਰ. ਤੇ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕ੍ਰਿਟੀਕਲੀ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਆਈ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹਦੇ ਕੀ ਟਵਿਸਟ ਐਂਡ ਟਰਨਸ ਹੋਏ, ਕਿਦਾਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਈ, ਤੇ ਕਿਹਨਾਂ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਸਟਡ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਜਿਡ ਫਾਰਮ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਪਣਾ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਇਮ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੀਡਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਐਨੇ ਅਨਸੈਲਫਿਸ਼ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕੁਝ ਮੋਟਿਵਸ ਹੋਣੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। ਫਿਰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟ੍ਰੇਸ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਐਂਡ the trends, education overall ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ that is become another item of consumerism, ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਵੱਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਵੇ, ਉਹੀ ਵੈਲਿਡ ਹੈ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ or any other meaning of education, we are not willing to look at that it means values, or it means exploration, it means experimentation, it means curiosity, it means thinking. Education is many things, but we just tie it to the being able to have a big pay package and then to be able to buy cars and houses and things like that, so that education is not really education as we understand it. So women are also trapped within that social and economic the trap. So ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ trap ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਚੋਂ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਵੈਸਟਡ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵਿਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਕੱਢਣਗੇ। ਇੱਕ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਲਾਲਾ ਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੇਸ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਵਿਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਐਂਡ ਵਿਮਨਸ ਲਿਬਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਐਨੀ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਡੈਮੋਨਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸਨ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸਨ, ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਲਚਰਲ ਫਾਰਮਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਵਿਮਨ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਸਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕੀਤਾ। ਸੋ ਕਲਚਰ and education, culture and literacy, all these things are interlinked, and we are going through a struggle. ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਆਸਾਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਦੀ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ, effort has to go on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I?
Thank you.
KL, Dr. Lalan Baghel.
Yeah.
Dr. Lalan Baghel, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pushpinder ma'am, for giving a kind of critical but brief account, comprehensive account. I was wondering on two accounts. मैं 2-3 सवाल आपके सामने रखना चाहूंगा जहां पे आपने अंत किया था। आपने कहा था डेकार्ट को कोट किया था, वो भी फ्रेंच फिलोसोफर हैं, I think therefore I am, और सात्र कहते हैं I exist therefore I am. So there is an upside down of Descartes पाया सात्र। तो इस नॉवेल के यदि हम प्लॉट को देखें, मैंने तो थोड़ा बहुत उनकी राइटिंग्स के ऊपर एक वर्क पढ़ा है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ा है, तो 2 बातें मेरे सामने आती हैं आज के समय को देखते हुए कि ये एथनोग्राफर हैं अपने तरह की, जो कि एथनोग्राफी के थ्रू लिटरेचर कर रही हैं। तो अब नोबेल प्राइज मिल जाता है तो उसको लिटरेचर है कि नहीं है उसके ऊपर सवाल नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन जो पैराडॉक्स आपने बाद में कहा, पर्सनल एपिस्टेमोलॉजी, इट्स अ पैराडॉक्स, बट इस पैराडॉक्स में जो सब्जेक्टिविटी है, सब्जेक्टिविटी का जो बनना है, बनने की जो पूरी प्रक्रिया है, और बनने की प्रक्रिया में जो एक्टर्स हैं वो हिस्ट्री क्या होगी, वो किस तरह की हिस्ट्री होगी। निश्चित रूप से फ्रेंच वुमेन मूवमेंट या फ्रेंच लिबरेशन मूवमेंट के बारे में 2 बातें तो तय हैं। यहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ सब्जेक्टिविटी एंड हाउ सब्जेक्टिविटी इज आल्सो निगेटेड, क्या ये दोनों बातें आपको इनके नॉवेल में या इनकी रचनाओं में देखने को मिलती हैं कि सब्जेक्टिविटी का निगेशन भी है और सब्जेक्टिविटी का फॉर्मेशन भी है, जो कि एक पैराडॉक्स लगता है पर है, जो अल्जाइमर की डिजीज के बारे में आप कह रही थी। एक और सवाल जो शायद आप पढ़ चुकी हैं तो बता सकती हैं कि ये जो कैसे अलग हैं, जॉन पॉल सार्त्र की ट्रेडिशन में आती हैं, बार बार फिलॉसफी वाला एंगल उनके पास आता है, तो किस तरह का नया यॉनर गढ़ती हैं, क्योंकि ऑटोबायोग्राफी में भी रीजन होता है और रीजन में भी ऑटोबायोग्राफी होता है. रीजन कैन बी ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल एंड इन ऑटोबायोग्राफी दे कैन बी रीजन. तो ये जो फिलॉसफी की पजल है उसके ऊपर आपका कुछ कहना है क्या, और किस तरह से ये जो राइटिंग्स हैं एनी की उनको अलग करती हैं अपने पहले वाले, क्योंकि 17 लोगों को मिल चुका है, उसमें 4-5 महिलाएं भी हैं, तो कैसे अलग पाती हैं इनकी रचना को? शुक्रिया मैम.
जी जी हाँ, तो बहुत सारे सवाल हैं. तो एक तो सब्जेक्टिविटी का और निगेशन ऑफ सब्जेक्टिविटी का, वो तो बहुत क्लियरली नजर आती है क्योंकि ये साइमल्टेनियसली चल रहा है और इनकी राइटिंग में ये हमें नजर ऐसे आता है कि जैसे एक सेंटेंस है, एक सेंटेंस में अगर कुछ कहा गया है तो वो नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस में या उसी सेंटेंस के नेक्स्ट पार्ट में निगेट भी हो रहा है ना. और फिर वो एक और चीज करती हैं, वो एक फोटोग्राफ दिखाती हैं कि देयर इज दिस गर्ल और वो ऐसे लग रही है, ऐसे लग रही है, ये उसने पहना हुआ है, इस तरह से खड़ी है, सब कुछ. फिर नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में वो कहती है आई एम हियर. हाँ, फिर वो कहती है शी इज लाइक दिस. सो अपने आप को थर्ड पर्सन में भी बता रही है, सेम फोटोग्राफ को डिस्क्राइब कर रही है. तो उस फोटोग्राफ को वो आई के फॉर्म में भी डिस्क्राइब कर रही है और नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में शी के फॉर्म में डिस्क्राइब कर रही है कि शी इज द वन, एंड देन शी इज ट्राइंग टू रिकवर दैट शी एज आई. सो और उसमें मुश्किलात आ रही है, क्योंकि वो यकीन नहीं कर पा रही, वो ट्रस्ट नहीं कर पा रही कि वो जो लड़की जो फोटोग्राफ में है वो क्या मेरी फॉर्मर सेल्फ एक्चुअली है और क्या कि कोई और है, और कोई जो और है उसको मेरे को अपनाना चाहिए कि नहीं अपनाना चाहिए. मैं उसको डिसोन कर दूं या उसको समझूं कि हाँ ये मेरा एक प्रेजेंट सेल्फ का एक पार्ट है. तो उसमें एक हेसिटेशन आती है कि वो क्यों इस फोटोग्राफ को एक्सेप्ट करें. तो उसके बाद फिर वो कुछ साल बाद की एक और फोटोग्राफ पेश कर देती है, फिर उस फोटोग्राफ को एनालाइज करने लगती है. अच्छा, अपनी मदर के बारे में भी जब वो लिखती हैं तो वो अपनी मदर की बॉडी में अपनी बॉडी देख रही होती है. सो बॉडी के इश्यूज भी बहुत आते हैं सेल्फ में, क्योंकि सेल्फ को हम कैसे पहचानते हैं? अपनी फिजिकल ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਹੋਂਦ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਹੋਂਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਬੋਡੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਪਛਾਣਦੇ ਆ. ਪਰ ਉਹ ਬੋਡੀ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਏਲੀਅਨ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਬੋਡੀ ਵੀ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਅਲੱਗ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਫੋਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫਸ 'ਚ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੋਡੀ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੈਰਾਡੌਕਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਵਰਕਡ ਇਨਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਸੌਰਟ ਆਫ mosaic, या ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਨੀ ਅਰਨੋ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਵਰਡ ਜੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ, she says it's a palimpsest. Palimpsest ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ palimpsest is that you impose one thing on something which is beneath and that is erased and something else is imposed upon it, you know. So ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. ਅੱਛਾ, sometimes you know you catch yourself in that attempt कि मैं कोशिश कर रही हूँ एक अपने आप को पहले अपने अस्तित्व ਨੂੰ erase ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਅਸਤਿਤਵ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਡਾਊਟ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ own up ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਰੀਅਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, the body, even that is not real. So is this effort then useless? So, but still she tries to make an effort to keep these things together. So that is a literary struggle, I would say. Now, this is my answer to your question, that the difference between a philosopher like Jean-Paul Sartre, even though Jean-Paul Sartre can also be considered literary, because in the sense ki jehdi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ book ਸੀ Nausea is again one of the important cult novels of the 60s and 70s, we might say, and it had a big influence on Annie Ernaux as well. And so Jean-Paul Sartre also ponders of the same questions, but Annie's work is different in this sense that she doesn't go into I mean, I don't think at any point she mentions the word existential or existentialism. She doesn't. So it is as if the influence of Sartre is somewhere there in her, in the sense that she has absorbed it, but she is not, as sure about it either. About I exist, therefore I am, because she would raise a question about her own existence as well. So that is something that's different, because she's not bound by that philosophical statement or declaration of some sort of the philosopher, even though he or she may deny anything, but will still say, I am the one who's thinking. She's not so sure about who is I and who is she and who is we. So the very interspersing of I, we, she, us, etc., in the whole narrative, her whole construction, that tells us that there is another kind of imagination at work over here. That it is more of a literary imagination.
तो क्या आप रेत समाधि जैसा कुछ देख पा रही हैं इनके रेत समाधि जिसपे बुकर प्राइज मिला है?
नहीं, रेत समाधि नहीं है. रेत समाधि, I'm critical of रेत समाधि. Because पता नहीं आपका क्या ओपिनियन है उसके बारे में, लेकिन मैं सोच रही हूँ कि it's a weak book in the sense कि वो ना कुछ डेरिवेटिव
स्टाइल में खो गई किताब है. मैं तो ऐसे मानता हूँ.
स्टाइल में खो गई. वो डेरिवेटिव जो कोशिश कर रही हैं कि वो कुछ उसको डीफेमिलियराइज करके बता दिया जाए, है ना? तो लेकिन डीफेमिलियराइजेशन में भी बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हो चुके हैं. तो जो पाठक होगा वो नया, जरूरी नहीं है कि पाठक हर वक्त तलाश करे. पाठक हर वक्त कुछ नया नहीं तलाश करता. पाठक कुछ डेप्थ, वो डेप्थ रेत समाधि में नहीं पाई मुझे. I may be wrong. I mean, you may think differently.
Yeah, take Aman Kaur.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed your talk on the on Ani Arno's work, and I have read 2 works of her, not like the 2 that you have mentioned.
Can I interrupt? Can
Yes,
I please interrupt? We have once again run into the question of time. So please be very brief. We have the last 2 questions. Aman Kaur, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'll be brief. So, ma'am, I have 2 questions. One, जो ललन सर ने अभी पूछा है about like the subjectivity and the way you answered this question. I mean, so I read this work, A Girl's Story, in which she again, so she also does the same thing in that book, where she sort of presents the perspective of the I, and then again in third person or second person she goes to that perspective. So one is that then how are we supposed to trust memory in that context? Like what, I mean, as a reader, where do we stand in terms of understanding what the writer is trying to say? Second is, I mean, in between your talk, you also mentioned about, this memory and the autobiography, or so in one of the earlier works, Simple Passion, Annie Arno, she also says in the book that I do not, I mean, so it is very difficult for her to, distance herself from the written page, because then she says that having to answer such questions that is it an autobiography, is it a memoir, so to answer all those questions. So I mean, this I really like about her writing is this genre defined thing, that we try to put it, or if we try to categorize it as like it's an autobiography or a memoir. So what do you say about like how Annie Arno, she picks up this genre defined thing, and at the same time she's trying to recollect the history, the memory, or what Professor Lalan also sees, the ethnography of the country or the society at that time. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So see, this question about ethnography and your earlier observation about your earlier question was earlier part of your observation?
It was, yeah, it was about like if we see that she presents her case as I in first person, that is in the third person. So how are we able to, like, how are we supposed to trust the memory or understand the memory?
And genre. Yes, you asked about genre also.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
see, for one thing, every writer reinvents the genre, you know. And the second question that we as readers or as critics would have to ask ourselves is, why do we want to categorize? You know, what is our interest in it? You know, what is our interest in categorization? Why should we force categorization when we see very clearly that the writer has resisted categorization? When we see the writer herself has shown very clearly that I don't want to categorize, you know, then why should we be so persistent in categorizing? ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ critics ਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਏਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖੀਏ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖੀਏ, ਫਿਟ ਇਨ ਕਰ ਦਈਏ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ।
Yeah, ਔਰ ਮੈਮ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਉਹ ਇਸੇ ਲਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ I mean this forces me to think ਨਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਸ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਲਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਲਿਟਰੇਚਰ ਹੋਰ ਰਾਈਟਿੰਗਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੈਟੇਗਰਾਈਜ਼ I mean even if the writer hasn't really mentioned it category ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੈਟੇਗਰੀ ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ। So yeah.
So what message do we get from her writings? The message we get, because she deals with something which is uncategorizable, that is time and memory, which fundamentally, as one of the sort of the frameworks in which human life exists, you know, time and memory, that itself is uncategorizable in the sense that we cannot hold on to it as something fixed at any point. So the very fact that she points this out again and again through the progress of her narratives, and she not only herself reminds herself and is aware, but she constantly keeps the reader aware of this also, it means that she is sending us this message that we will have to live with this. We will have to live with this tenuousness, this, you know, very, very evanescent sense of time. And we will have to live with this and maybe not a kind of search for trusting memory. I mean, maybe we are barking up the wrong tree in saying that let us try and see if we can pin down the memories and we can pin down this and pin down that. In history also, in sciences, in everywhere we try to pin down things, you know, and we try to categorize, we try to pin down, which in itself is a different kind of effort, a different kind of cause. But what Annie Ernaux is doing is pointing us in a different direction. The direction is different. The direction of being able to live with, there is one new age guru, Alan Watts, you know, his writings are very, unki ek kitab ka naam hai, The Wisdom of Insecurity. The Wisdom of Insecurity, you know, which means that we are reminded time and again at every moment of our lives that we have to live with uncertainty. And we know that, you know, from modernist literature has constantly kind of, in different ways, different experiments, has tried to make us aware of that uncertainty. So that's one thing. And the last thing that you mentioned, now I've lost track of that.
Okay, thank you very much. And
Yeah,
now we have the
Rajinder
last
Singh.
comment from Dr. Rajendra Singh.
Okay, my question is very simple. First of all, once I try to find out how many Indians they were nominated for the Literature Nobel Prize. According to this book, according to my analysis, from that is from the record of the Nobel Committee. From 1913 till 1959, only 8 Indians, they were nominated for the Nobel Prize. Out of them, 7 were from Calcutta or from Bengal. So person who were asked to set the nomination from 1916 till 1963, there were 11 Indians, out of them 9 from Calcutta. Now, my question on you, you start in the very beginning that there are many great Indian writers. They are not getting the Nobel Prize. My first question, what could be the reason? Second, do you know personally somebody who was ever asked by the Nobel Committee for nomination?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, there are many reasons. There are many reasons. One is, of course, we all know that the Nobel Prize, we know its inception, and we also know that it's politicized. Over the years, we have seen that it is politicized, and which doesn't mean that the ones who have won it are not good, but there is an element of that, and it is very Eurocentric. Occasionally you may find somebody from the East, or you see, Eurocentric, and of course American, and or people of ethnic origins who are living in Western countries. So that's where they seem to be looking. They don't seem to be really looking elsewhere. So it's a kind of a question of wherever you look, you will find. If you look in Japan, you will find. If you look in China, you will find. It's not that the literature of one country is more profound than the literature of another country. All literatures are profound in themselves, but it's a question of where you look. And certainly it is Eurocentric. That is without a doubt, that is Eurocentric.
So one good news for Chandigarh people, from the Punjab University, there was one person who was once asked to send nomination for Peace Nobel Prize. So that can be interesting for Chandigarh people, that they had somebody at least.
Well, I hope it happens more in the future. Very quickly, I'd like to just revert to what Aman had said about ethnography. And I'd like to say, it has struck me that the ethnography that Annie Ernaux is concerned with is women's ethnography in particular. And with her earlier writings and later, it is women's bodies, and the women's bodies are situated within a social framework of understanding of the woman's body. That the ethnography resides. The ethnography resides in that area, because in her earlier works, she has gone through very, very clearly and without any sort of holds barred about the experience of abortion, about the experience of dealing with matters of sexuality, even in a country where we think, it's all very sort of liberated and everything. So that ethnography is the ethnography of the women's lives within that kind of a framework, and you will find that sexuality plays a big role. A women's experience of her sexuality plays a big role in that, and that of course links her to all the other feminist writers as well.
So,
thank you, Professor Pushpinder. You have brought these matters which are already close to a physicist's heart: identity and questions of time. So thank you once again for bringing these matters in the realm of literature, in the form that they exist in the realm of literature. Thank you. And now I request Professor Anand Bachawat of IISERMohali to present a vote of thanks on everybody's behalf. Professor Bachawat, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dharamvir, and thank you so much, Dr. Pushpinder. I mean, for that wonderful exposition on the Nobel Prize. It's not easy, and you also try to do it in the vernacular periodically. I know it's not easy, but I think thank you so much for trying. So I'd like to thank also Rajivlochan, Dr. Jasbir Singh, for also being there and part of it, and all the other participants. for being there for this function, online function, and which is actually jointly hosted by SPSTI, the Punjab Council of Science and Technology, as well as the Chandigarh chapters of INSA, NASI, and INYAS. And also a final thanks also for Anuj, Goel, and Mahipal, who've always been there for making sure that this thing works like clockwork. So thank you all. Thank you very much. And over to Grover, Dr. Dept.
These are the forthcoming lectures, some of them. Please join us on these occasions. Thank you.
So thank you, Kia. It's really midnight for you, maybe early morning for you.
Past midnight, yeah, 2:30. But it was fun. It was very good. New visions of old words. Thank you.
Thank you, Pushpinder ji.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anuj ji.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ji.